If you downloaded Instagram 10 years ago and you averaged 2 hours of screen time a day on the app, how much time do you think you would have spent over the last 10 years? This number kind of blew my mind. That adds up to 304 days, or 10 months of non-stop scrolling. Okay, so even if you only downloaded Instagram, say 5 years ago, that's still 5 months of non-stop scrolling. So I don't know you, but I know this about you. You can't stand to be bored. Even for a second. And I can't blame you because I'm the exact same way. The thing is, I'm so used to constant brain stimulation that the moment I lose it, I don't know what to do with myself. I open my phone, I scroll Instagram, I watch videos, etc. See, this all has to do with time. The shorter the gap between an action, something we do, and the reward it gives our brain, the more likely we are to continue doing it. When I open my phone, my brain is flooded with dopamine within seconds, which feels good, so I continue doing it. This is why doing something like working out is hard, because the pain is immediate, but the payoff doesn't happen until months or even years later. I think we all know deep down that doing something meaningful like studying, being creative, working out, or reading a book would benefit us more in the long term, but for some reason we're quick to reach for whatever gives our brains the fastest reward. And this has to change, because the more control we have over our attention, the more freedom we'll feel in our lives. Something switched for me when I began to understand dopamine and how it affects me. People like to label dopamine as the pleasure chemical, but that's actually a misconception. Dopamine isn't what makes you feel good, it's what makes you chase what feels good. It's the chemical behind craving, motivation, desire, far more than just pleasure. So it can be a really good thing, but of course, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. The first thing to understand is that high stimulation habits raise your dopamine tolerance. It makes sense if you think about it. The more you rely on quick hits of stimulation, the more your baseline shifts. It's like listening to music and turning the volume up to 100. After a while, a normal volume level sounds quiet. That's what happens with your brain. The more you take in high doses of stimulation, especially through the form of media, the more normal life starts to feel boring. But there is a solution. It starts with tricking your brain into making hard things seem easy. The key is lowering the barrier to begin. The video you're watching right now almost didn't get recorded at all. But then I thought, no, this is something I really want to say. I knew I had to make this, but I had been stuck on the script for a few weeks making no progress. But then I decided to try something. I put away all distractions for 30 minutes. I started a timer and sat down with nothing but my computer and focused on nothing but writing. I wasn't allowed to open my phone, watch any videos, or reply to any texts. So instead of saying, I'm going to make a video, I said, I'm going to write for 30 minutes, and I focused on a particular paragraph and finished that. The moment I was able to complete that small step, something switched in my brain. It sparked momentum, and I decided to lock in for another 30 minutes. Not because I had to, but because I was motivated to. The motivation followed the action, not the other way around. When you take a small step, your brain gets a little reward, and that tiny reward creates momentum. It's not always about forcing motivation. It's about making the first step so small you can't talk yourself out of it. The sad truth is, many of you will skip over this next part, but I think it's the most important point of this entire video. The only way you can truly reset your brain from this dopamine overload is to replace your high stimulation habits with healthier habits that will benefit you more in the long term. Right now, you're listening to every song at max volume, but if you found ways to slowly lower the volume, your brain would thank you in the long term. Here's a quick list of what helped me the most. My main distraction was my phone, so this list is focused on that. 1. Friction. Make the distracting apps harder for you to access. 2. Take Sundays off. Don't use your phone at all for one day of the week. 3. Put your phone in another room. Physically separate yourself from your phone throughout the day or during a focused session. 4. Accountability. This is honestly the best way to ensure that you take a dopamine detox seriously. Have your friend hold you accountable or lock you out of an app once you've reached a certain screen time. So what I learned from all this is that dopamine isn't a bad thing. In fact, it's what motivates us to create, build, and accomplish things. The question is, where do you get your dopamine from? Is it from random, mindless entertainment, or is it from growth or beneficial progress? If you want to be stuck in the same cycle forever, then keep doing the same thing. But if you want to actually experience freedom, you have to control what you give your attention to. You can't expect yourself to enjoy deep, meaningful work if you're constantly feeding on fast dopamine. So if you really want to be inspired, you don't need to kill dopamine. You just need to train your brain to crave the right kind of dopamine. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.